And hello again, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Panther Pride here on TV 24. Mickey Shadracks along with Wellborn head coach Jeff Smith as we talk Panther football this week. Wellborn went on the road last Friday night to Weaver in a 3A Region 5 matchup, suffered a 42-13 defeat to the Bearcats. Coach, we knew this would be a challenge for your football team. Weaver, as good a group of players as they've had in a long time out there, and it was a game in which, as we'll see in the highlights, you pretty much controlled the first half of the game. The second half, things kind of flipped on you. Talk about the game Friday night.
Well, you know, first off, Coach Hamby and Weaver's team is very good this year. And again, they're an older team. You know, they're made up of juniors and seniors. You know, they don't have any sophomore starters. They're all a junior and senior football team. And you know, the first half, I really felt like we outplayed them and played very well. And then the second half right there, I think that their age and them having an extra week on us right there really showed in the second half right there, and they got ahead of us right there, and we just couldn't recover. One
of the things that is a challenge when you play Weaver is they typically, at least the last few years, they've had a lot of team speed. They spread the field. You have to defend the entire field with them. But this year they've got some size up front as well, so they kind of got the complete package this year.
Well, no, they're very big. No, that's for sure. They were the biggest team we've seen this year. I mean, and we thought North Jackson was big. We thought Sachs had a big team right there, but now they got some really big kids over there that move really well and play well.
And of course, it was kind of a hot night again. We caught a break for a couple of weeks there with the cooler weather, but it kind of felt like an August Friday night last week, and you've got so many kids that are having to play both ways and special teams and that type of thing against a team such as Weaver. That's a challenge to your kids, especially for some of the younger kids you have.
Well, it was, but you know, I tell you what, I thought our conditioning showed, and we're in pretty good shape. You know, I didn't see that being a problem. They've got kids going both ways too. You know, so there's no excuse on that. I just felt like that they had an extra week on us, so they were really prepared. And then two, I felt like in the second half right there that they made some adjustments at halftime and really did a good job against us in the second half. In the first half, I really felt like that we controlled the game. Second half, they controlled it.
And what a region. We talk about this, it seems like every year, this 3A Region 5, it's just the competitiveness of this region is just brutal, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And, you know, I think any of our teams, our top four teams that will make the playoffs, will have the opportunity to do what they did last year and be all four in the quarterfinals. I can see that happening again this year. And I also believe the state champion, our region champion or region runner-up or whoever comes out of our region will end up representing the North in the state championship.
All right, we'll take a break and come back with highlights of Wellborn's trip to Bill Bryan Stadium at Weaver last Friday night as we continue on Panther Pride. And back on Panther Pride, here come the Panthers on the field at Bill Bryan Stadium. Weaver with the football to begin the game, playing their first region game against you guys, Coach.
Absolutely. You know, we received first right there. We ended up having to punt the first possession, and of course they took over. And then this is the second possession right here. And we have an outstanding drive right here. You see Jamar Curry break the trap right here. Right here again, Jamar Curry catches a pass out of the backfield right here, and he gets us the first down. We come back here and we hit a double handoff right here, and Javion Thomas has a nice run, gets the ball down inside their territory. We're really moving the ball well, and then here Kent Harris finishes up right here with our power play and gets it in the end zone, and we're up on them 7-0. They then get the ball here, and they have a miscue here, and you see us, we're going to have some good gang tackling right here on Coach Hamby's son here, who does an outstanding job for them. We finished the first quarter, we're leading 7-0. They catch us here and got us things sealed on the outside. And here's Spinks makes a good run for them and gets the ball down into our territory. Again, they caught us right there on a stunt and hit it up inside of us right there, and he got the ball down again inside. Here, Hamby kept the ball here. This was a quarterback trap play right there, and got the ball in the end zone, and they missed their extra point, so it's 7-6. Now both teams start going back and forth. We have a good play right there. So Monte Tice, a 10th grader right there, making a good tackle. Here we have an interception. I mean, we thought it was fixing to have an interception. There was a play before that we thought we had picked. Here they come down here, and we end up holding them on this drive right here. Again, you see Bailey Neely, a freshman, makes a tackle right there and finished up with Javion Thomas. Okay, we're staying pretty steady right there, holding them, and we held them out of there and had the ball on the 1 yard line, and we're driving it back out. This is a drive right before the half. A nice throw and catch right here. It's awesome to Dylan Grubbs. Dylan is one of our seniors right there. It plays tight end. And we fumble the football on their 20, and then they get the ball in possession right there, and they fumble the football a couple of times here, but we weren't able to get back on it. And the half is going to end up being 7-6, us in the lead.
And you mentioned the turnover you had. That was a big moment late in the first half, because you're driving with an opportunity to score again, and then the drive comes to an end.
Well, absolutely. You know, in a game like that, every play matters. And if we could have took that drive in right before the half and went up on them 14-6 at halftime, you know, again, that changes their game plan for the half. So we go in at half, and basically we're ahead 7-6. They make their adjustments against us. We go make our adjustments with them, and then we come out the second half. Well, it's different. Your game plan changes when it's only 1 point lead. I mean, that's like an even game, or if you're down by 8 points. And we were only ahead of them by that one single point, so it's like an even game, and they came back out the second half and really took control of the game.
Well, at halftime, Wellborn in control 7-6. As we go to break, we'll listen into the Wellborn High School marching band on their performance Friday night out at Weaver High School. All right, Coach, let's head into the second half now. You've got a 7-6 lead as you kick off to them.
Well, we ground kick it. They have good returners right there, and we really didn't get it far enough right there, and they got it. They got the ball on their own 40. Again, they came back here and they hit a weak side lead play on us right there, and got the ball down right there. Got down and ended up quarterback sneaking it there and going ahead. All right, here you go. Jet right here has a punt here. I think this is one time that they had a decent return against us. They did right here, and then we end up here making a tackle here. Ended up making a tackle there. I think that, yes, that was Logan Grubbs that makes a tackle there. And then that's the same play again. It's a weak side lead play that they kept hitting on us. And really what they did, they put some older kids against a lot of our younger kids right there and took advantage of it. Here, they ran the same play again. We made an adjustment to it. Jamiron sniffs it out right there and gets a stop. Again, that's that play again, and we sealed it up there, and he broke it back against us right there and got it down to the 1 yard line. Well, actually, they ended up giving the touchdown on the play. Again, they come back with it there. We made, again, our adjustment made. That's a freshman right there, Contrez Hunt, who played an outstanding game for us. Here, Jamiron tips the ball coming out, and then Contrez here, a freshman, makes a good play right there and gets the ball into the end zone right there, and we scored. If you can see the enthusiasm, Calvin Spinks, number 8, 45, Keontae Curry, they're all freshmen out there celebrating with him.
Here's what they like to do, Coach, and that's hit you with a big play.
It is. Again, it was a weak side lead play, and they hit that on us right there, and we were having to overcompensate to fill it up, and they took advantage of it. Here we're driving the ball out. Again, you can see Jamarion's having a good hard run right there, and they've really filled the box up on us at this time. Again, we overran the football then. We're still running to the ball, making tackles. I mean, the kids did not quit. They're still battling and trying. Here, a great tackle again by Contreras Hunt, a freshman. But if you saw it was a sophomore, Dylan Gilbert made a good play, squeezing that down before that. And again, they got the ball in the end zone on us. So 35-13 here. They angle kick it to us here. All right, a freshman, Calvin Spinks, here has a nice return here. He's such a competitor. It's going to be really exciting having him for the next few years. Here they run their toss play. We had worked against that a good bit all week and everything. And the time that you run underneath the block, it's when it gets you, and we did then. We did not take on the block like we should have. Coach Hamby and his staff does a good job right there. Thank a lot of him. Wish him well. His son is a very good football player for him, and then the principal's son, Caleb Allison, is a middle linebacker, and he does a good job on defense for him right there. And they've got a good team this year, and we wish them well.
And they're going to be a challenger for the region in Region 5. Of course, you've got the defending champions in Piedmont. They beat Randolph County Friday night, who was a lot of people's region pick to win it this year. Weaver's going to be right in the mix. You're still in the mix to get into the playoffs as well. Coach, we're a few weeks into this season. Obviously, you got an open week coming up, which we'll talk a little bit later in the show about how you're going to handle the open week. But I'm sure you've got some young guys that could benefit from a week off. Well,
we do, and like last week we had all the hurricane problems, and we weren't able to practice Monday and Tuesday because of that. And I think that hurt us in the game as far as game preparation, but as far as healing up, it helped us. But after the Pleasant Valley game, we got some kids nicked up and some injuries, some significant injuries. And I think the first 2 days of the hurricane helped us heal that up, but not enough. We've had some kids that were hurt that had to play in the game, and then we had some that were hurt that couldn't play in the game. And, this open week we have right here, we're going to give them Monday and Friday off, and we're going to practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and hopefully we can get these kids back well and get them back playing.
All right, let's take a look at the individual player awards from the Weaver game.
All right, Scrambler was Dylan Gilbert. That's the best offensive line award. He's a 10th grader, did a good job for us. Racehorse was Ked Harris. I mean, he's a senior, and he comes in every day and gives us everything he's got. Headhunter was a tie between Jamarion Curry and Javion Thomas. They both had 8 tackles apiece. The Big Hog Award was Ked Harris. That's the best defensive line and linebacker performance. Pancake Blocks was Contreras Hunt, Bailey Neely, 2 freshmen. They both had a pancake block in this game. Hardest hit was Logan Brooks, who is a 9th grader, and Logan Grubbs, who's a 10th grader. The meanest Panther was a tie between Walker Hayes and Calvin Spinks. Calvin's a 9th grader, Walker's a senior. 12th man was Jet on his punting. He's a 9th grader. And Offensive Player of the Week was Ked Harris, a senior, and the Defensive Player of the Week was Contreras Hunt, a 9th grader.
All right, congratulations to those young men. And coming up on the show, we've got our player spotlight for this week, and we'll talk about the Panthers' open week ahead as we continue right here on Panther Pride.
Go, go, go. Oh, what are you doing?
And we'd like to thank our special sponsor this week, Wise Environmental Solutions of Oxford, a leader in the field of enhanced waste collection and resource recovery services. Wise offers a variety of services for residential, business, and government customers, including portable restrooms and restroom trailers for special events or construction sites. Wise also offers dumpster rental services when you need some extra capacity for home remodeling, yard projects, and more. Wise even offers tent rentals for weddings, corporate events, or parties, and those rental services include professional delivery and pickup, and setup and takedown. All rentals are clean and well maintained and available at reasonable prices. You can call 256-832-7867 or visit them online. Proudly serving Calhoun, Etowah, Jefferson, St. Clair, and Talladega Counties, Wise Environmental Solutions. And thanks to them and all of our sponsors this year for making it possible for us to be with you each week here on Panther Pride. Well, it's time for our player spotlight. This week, Gerhard Mathangani profiles a young man who plays a key role on this team, scored a touchdown in the game against Weaver last Friday night, and that is senior running back Ked Harris.
Oftentimes, the sport of football and its players are talked about in measurables: how tall or how big, how fast a 40 time, or numbers in the weight room. But every now and then there's a player that shatters the mold. For Wellborn, that guy is Ked Harris. He's not the biggest or the fastest, but he is one of the most effective and productive.
I've grown from changing positions to doing what you have to do to help the team. I've learned that it's never going to be in the same spot. You're never going to be in the same spot. You're never going to be comfortable.
I think our program's where it's at because of Ked. He's just been a big part of our program. I mean, he came up here as a 7th grader, played junior high football for us, and I can remember him as an 8th grader going out there playing against Rambrin in a big game. He's just been a big part of us for a lot of years.
As a senior, Harris has transitioned well into a leadership role both on and off the field.
Having a lot of young guys and then losing a lot of seniors and a lot of leadership last year, coming in and making the younger guys feel more like they can trust us. Because if they can't trust us, they're not going to want to block for us. They're not going to want to get in behind us and go out here and win.
Ked's journey has been marked by both good times and tragedy. When he was in elementary school, his older brother Aaron, better known as Tootie, passed away. Although he was young at the time, Ked remembers lessons from his big brother.
Don't give up on this program. He told me once, I think I was in the 5th grade, and he said, Coach Russell always told him, if you go out there, keep hitting, they're going to get tired of it.
Even 6 years later, there are constant reminders of Tootie's legacy, both athletically and personally. On the back of every Panther helmet is a sticker with his number 79.
He made such a difference around here in the school because me being just in elementary school, I didn't know any of that.
He was the life of our team. He always kept everybody up. He always had a positive attitude. And you talk about a unifying human being. He unified everybody. And probably the most unified I've ever seen Wellborn was when Tootie passed. As long as I'm coaching here, we're not going to forget him.
For this week's player profile on the Panther Pride, I'm Gerhard Mathangani.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Gerhard. That is a great story, Ked Harris. I know a young man you're just so proud to have on your football team.
You just don't know. And just watching that right there, I'm so proud of Kedrick for him, how he plays. And he plays for more himself. And watching that footage right there just brought me back right there. And I tell you, it's hard for me to stand up here and talk to you right now. But, Ked represents his family so well. And I know Tootie is so proud of him. And, as long as I'm the coach at Wellborn, we'll never forget him.
All right, we'll take a break, come back and look ahead as the Panthers have an off week before they resume play the following week against Talladega. We'll continue with Panther Pride. Stay with us. And we're back on Panther Pride. There you see Wellborn's next matchup against Talladega, but take note of the date. It's not this week. It is next week, September the 29th. And Talladega, if you're following high school football, they're off to as good a start as they've had in a couple of decades at Talladega. So that'll be a challenging non-region matchup for the Panthers. Speaking of region, let's go ahead and take a look at the region standings as Wellborn right now 1-1 in the region. Piedmont, the only undefeated team in the region. Well, Weaver as well. They've played one game against Wellborn last week. Coach, let's talk about what you've got coming up this week. We mentioned the open week is good for some of your injured guys, give them a chance to heal up, get treatment, and then you come back and you've got a tough non-region game with Talladega, who, as I said, is off to a great start this year. Well,
you mentioned non-region, with our program at Wellborn, we don't get to play an easy team in the non-region games. You know, all our non-region games, every one of them are 4A or better. You know, we're 3A, and we have to play up every time we schedule anybody that's not in our region. You know, but you know what? That's a tribute to what our team stands for. So, but anyway, this week going into the open week, we do have some players banged up. You know, we're going to play junior high B team Monday night at Wellborn against Jacksonville. So if anybody's out there wants to come watch, we need to get out there and support those kids. And then we're going to practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then give them a long weekend off. So they're going to get 2 3-day weekends to mend up and heal up and everything. They need it. I mean, they played hard and played well for the first 4 weeks of the season. And I think that it wore on them, and you could really see it in the second half of this last ball game we played.
Very challenging 4-week start to the season for the Wellborn Panthers, and I know the open week will be good for the coaches and the players as well. Coach, we'll see you again in a couple of weeks as we're back here for all the highlights of the Talladega game. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you again next time right here on Panther Pride.
Go, go, go! Oh, what are you doing?